Hello and welcome to Money Puzzles Live. We are the show dedicated to you, dedicated to putting all of your financial pieces together in one easy to see picture. My name's Chris Maxey, and with me is my co-host Sean Clark. Sean, how are you?
Good morning, Chris. Well, I'm doing just fine. And, silver lining on this coronavirus.
Coronavirus week 3.
Yeah, this is the third week that we're talking about it. And, there are a lot of silver linings with it. I mean, no traffic has been fantastic on the way up to the studio.
Yeah.
So that is fantastic. If obviously, probably a good idea to stay home.
Yes, social distancing, a big thing right now, staying 6 feet away from people. Some local drama right now. Mayor Castor wanting to issue a stay-at-home order, but the Hillsborough County admin saying, you don't have the authority to do so. What do you think about that?
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And I like this whole thing, this whole coronavirus. It's totally unprecedented. What's happening with the markets is unprecedented. Now, markets will always be volatile, but they've never been this volatile over a pandemic. So this whole thing is just different. I mean, has there ever been a time when the United States had to shut down because of a pandemic? I don't. I mean, obviously not in my lifetime.
Definitely not. I mean, 100 years ago, there was a big pandemic that came through, but that was a whole nother world.
I wasn't alive then.
You were not alive then, no. Definitely. But they might be shutting the city down. They might be shutting the county down. They're meeting, I think, this afternoon to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with that. I mean, obviously, we are more than willing to abide by that, and I think that these are probably good precautions to protect people, and especially, I think younger folks aren't susceptible to.
Well, they're saying flatten the curve, right?
Exactly, flatten the curve of people that are getting it, and we've got to protect the elderly and the people that are
predisposition.
Yeah, this could be a huge harm for. So, I'm all for and we just follow what they say. You're right.
Sure.
We'll just follow what they say and lead that up to our leaders that we elected. But some shakeup in the markets as well. I mean, my goodness, this is, if we're Money Talk Radio, let's talk money. The market has been unbelievable. I mean, it dropped like a rock. Like 10% in a couple of days there. This was about a month ago.
It just kept on going.
And then it jumped back up about 5, 6, 7%. Then it just took a nosedive.
Yeah, we're down 30, 34% or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and think about
in a matter of days.
It was crazy. I mean, back to 2008, which is one, the Great Recession, the time when we think about, one of those times in history where people lost half their money. And that was, you look at the S&P 500, it was down 40% in 2008. Mm-hmm. This was down 34%, but that was a whole year. I mean, it took a whole year to go down 40%. It was down
in a week and a half.
Yeah, it didn't take long, a couple of weeks, and it was down 34% from its peak. Now, I will say, Chris, that I do think the S&P was a little overvalued, meaning that it was higher than maybe it should be. And we've been talking about that we are overdue for a market correction, meaning that the market was due to drop at some point, because it can't just go up and up and up forever.
Yeah, for about the last year and a half, we were talking like, no, there needs to be some type of correction, one way or the other. In my wildest dreams, would I have thought it was this? Absolutely not. Definitely not the case. And we're just seeing, like, obviously this big 34% drop, but then we're also in the midst of that seeing 5%, 10%. On Tuesday, after the talks of this stimulus package coming in, the Dow Jones jumped up 11 points. That's the biggest jump it's ever seen.
Yeah, 11%.
11%. That's right. That's the biggest we've ever seen. Like the volatility up, down, sideways is unprecedented.
Absolutely, yeah. It is just unlike anything we've ever seen. And the last 2 days the market has performed really well.
Yeah,
Tuesday were great.
Wednesday,
and performed really well. We're just getting some of that money back that we lost. I mean, from. But again, I think the market was overdue for a correction. But we say this over and over and over. This is why everyone in America needs a plan.
Yeah,
needs a plan. The market is volatile. It will always be volatile. We saw a 20% correction in December of 2018
Mm-hmm.
because of government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
We saw, the banking crisis of 2008. In 2001 and 2, there was September 11th. I mean, the market will always be volatile. It will always go up and down. If you're depending on a constant uphill ride of the market, you will not have a successful retirement.
It's not going to happen. And the sad fact and things that are happening right now are people are being laid off. And that is the case. So what needs to happen is we need to learn from this right now. This is a fantastic learning opportunity. Every time we see a potential downturn or what is a potential negative thing, where's the positive in it? Where is the hope? Find the hope in every situation and every circumstance. And for us, what we're seeing right now is the baseline of having a plan is you got to protect yourself. And what we always say and what Dave Ramsey says is get that 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. You got to protect yourself. So if there's a pandemic that we've never seen before and you don't go to work for 1, 2, 3, however many weeks, or you're laid off, you are breathing easy where you have your family. It's not only about, if you have a family, it's not only about you, but it's about protecting your wife, your spouse, your sons, your daughters, your parents, your grandparents, whomever. Be able to protect them in times like this. And we're not here to say if you don't have that, shame on you. We're here to say learn from this, and the next time it comes around, take the opportunity to protect yourself.
Yeah, because it's just added stress. I mean,
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, even if you have a stable job, I mean, people working in the hotel industry and the airlines, people are always flying and moving and traveling. So surely those are stable jobs. Well, until we get a worldwide pandemic, you just have no idea what's going to happen. So having that 3 to 6 months of savings is huge. And it's not our job to be political and talk about politics, but let's talk a little bit about the stimulus package that they put together. Chris, what's going on with that?
Yeah, the Senate just passed it. This is a $2 trillion coronavirus stimulus bill. It's going to the House, I guess, right now. But this is the largest we've seen in American history. Again, the largest swing in the Dow Jones, the heavy drop. It's
going to be huge. If you listen to the president, it's going to be huge. It's the biggest
crazy.
Ever.
That's right. I mean, the specifics on this are crazy. What do you know about the specifics on it?
Yeah, it's, 46 billion is going to airlines, so
this is a pretty interesting part of it and a thing that I like. Yeah, 46 billion is going to airlines, but they're putting some stipulations, which I think is a good thing. So previously, what happened with the last stimulus package was companies would buy back their own stock after these situations. They get an influx of cash from the government, and then they're just taking care of themselves and they're buying back these stocks, and they're giving executives bonuses. That's not the case. They're still laying off workers, the common man, but executives are getting $1 million bonuses. So the government's saying, hey, we're going to give these funds, but you're not going to be able to do this. So there are some strings attached, which I think is a good thing. If you're giving money out, yeah, there's some strings attached, definitely. They're saying billions are going to the cruise lines, hotels, restaurants, etc. 50 billion for small businesses. So this is something that I think is really great. Obviously, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. There's huge corporations and conglomerates out there that move a lot, but the mom and pop shops, they are getting supported by the government, and they're still rolling out how that's going to look. But I think if we're supporting anybody, support the small businesses as individuals ourselves. I think when all this craziness goes out, make sure that you're definitely supporting the small businesses with your money on hand as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to this stimulus package, and obviously it's just designed to have an economic recovery, to help the stock market recover, help everybody get back on their feet. But the one thing that we see with this is another $2 trillion.
Yeah.
Tag it on top of the already, what is it,
23 plus trillion dollars of national debt.
Just tack it on top of that, folks. I mean, the writing is on the wall. Taxes are gonna go up in the future. Yeah. Like, I don't like it. Nobody likes it, but I don't have to convince you that with a 24 Well, now $25 trillion debt, taxes are likely to go up. So listen, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have any kind of plan, if you don't have that emergency fund, if you don't have that now bucket, and you are willing to look at your budget and put together a plan, we can help you with that. Give us a call, Brookstone Financial. Our number is 813-502-1228. Again, that's 813-502-1228. Or you can visit us online at brookstonefinancial.com. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to Money Puzzles Live. This is week 3 of the coronavirus. It is a staggering time right now. There's so much volatility in the markets. There's so much uncertainty. There's so the world is just weird. It just feels weird out there.
Yeah, it does. When we're driving to the studio and there's no one on the road, it is just an odd time. And we were just talking about, Chris, I want to go back into the stimulus package of $2 trillion.
Yeah.
I was listening to Dave and Chris Hogan on the way in, and they're talking about, yeah, this is going to help. I mean, it's a Band-Aid for people that have no savings. But here's the bottom line, folks. This is it. You can't depend on the government. You can't depend on the government to protect you. If that is your backup plan, listen, that if anybody's going to disappoint you, it will be the federal government.
Yeah.
And so that cannot be your backup plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan to take care of yourself and your family. And that 3 to 6 months of emergency fund is so important. You don't need that when times are good. You don't need that when times are going well, like they were 6 months ago.
Yeah.
The market was on fire. Everybody was working.
Mm-hmm.
It was
How quickly things turned.
Exactly. And no one could call this.
No.
I mean, no, 6 months ago, if no one could say, oh, you know what? I think we're due for a pandemic. What?
Yeah. I mean, having that plan in place is essential, right? We're talking about essential and I guess unessential. I don't know, personnel that are going to work and people that aren't going to work. It's essential to having the base frame of a plan is to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and have that 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and know that if something like this happens, you're gonna be okay, and you're not freaking out because you have the opportunity that you have the funds that are going to take care of you through this wild ride. We're also looking at other different opportunities in this time of uncertainty. And as the market's down, this opens up an opportunity for Roth conversions, right, Sean? Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we were just talking about, the federal government is putting the stimulus package. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Time will tell. It's going to help right now. It's going to help the immediate future, right now. And that's, typically what I see from politics is it doesn't matter if you're on the left side or the right side. Politicians are all about the right now because they have to stay in office. So they're always going to be making short-term decisions. You don't have to be a rocket science to see that. And so this is a short-term fix. This is a Band-Aid, and it's going to help people. And it may. But let's look at another issue is that we're in this massive hole of debt, and we're just digging the hole deeper.
Well, our whole job is, we see the now, but we're looking at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, right? As being planners, as being people who are kind of wired to do that already, but then at the same time, that's our job to look at the future and to develop strategies and plans to make sure that you are moving in the right direction. Yeah, we see a lot of this as short-term Band-Aids for a long-term, but we're looking always at the long-term solutions.
Exactly. And that's where we see that, at some point, I don't care which side of the street you're on. If you're in debt, there's only 2 ways to get out of debt. You can either make more or spend less.
Yeah.
That's it. It's real simple.
Yeah.
You can either make more or spend less. That's the only 2 ways to get out of debt. And do you see the federal government spending less, Chris?
I don't see it.
No. So at some point, they're going to have to make more. This isn't a political conversation. It's a mathematical conversation.
Yeah.
So I don't have to convince people that they'll probably raise taxes in the future. And so, and this $2 trillion of stimulus is going to tack onto that. That's going to make that, yeah, they're probably going to raise taxes in the future. So what we see is, let's look at right now. Market's down.
Mhm.
So your stock, your IRAs are typically, they're going to be down right now if they're invested in the stock market. And taxes and the debt is getting bigger. So
Mhm.
taxes are even more likely to go up in the future.
Mm-hmm.
What a prime time for Roth conversions.
Yeah.
Because when you convert to Roth, what you're doing is you're taking a stock. So maybe that's ABC stock. I'm making this up.
Mhm.
You take ABC stock out of your IRA and you move that to a Roth IRA. And so that stock is down right now. So you only pay tax on what you move. Now,
So
eventually
if that stock is 30% down right now compared to where it was 2 months ago, you're paying
30% less.
30% less on that stock. And then if the market goes up like it generally has,
and I mean, it has throughout history, it will go back up.
The big thing there is that you bought it on sale, and then it's continuing to rise up, and all of that growth is then tax free. You pay the tax now when it's lower, and the growth of it is tax free. So when you take it out at retirement, there's no tax on that. On your IRA money, on your 401k money, on your what we call tax deferred money, the growth, all of it, when you put it in the growth is all tax deferred, right? So when you take that money out at retirement, you have to pay taxes on it. So why not have a bucket of money that grows? You pay the tax in the beginning, and then all the growth is tax free.
So that's an opportunity right now.
Yeah.
With the current market condition and what we see in the future for taxes, Roth conversions are relevant now more
to definitely take a look at
than ever. Absolutely. And a lot of people think that they that they don't have any income, so they can't convert to Roth. And that is true. You can't contribute to Roth, but it is not true that you can't convert. Anyone that has an IRA can convert to Roth. You just need to put a plan together and talk to your CPA and meet with us to see if that would make sense.
If you don't have a plan on how you can turn these lemons into lemonade, right? If you don't have a plan on saying, okay, this is trouble, everything's 30% down, what am I going to do? Give us a call at 813-502-1228. Again, that's 813-502-1228. Or check us out online at brookstonefinancial.com or on Facebook at Brookstone Financial. And we can help you put that plan together where we see this massive problem that's right in front of us, and we can project out and make a plan for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So we can see, okay, this hurts right now. How can I make this better in the future? How can I create a plan that's going to take care of not only myself, but also my family as well?
And that's what we see from the major players in finance, guys like Warren Buffett. They view these times as opportunities. And so they're on the buy side right now, and they're buying these stocks while they're on sale.
Yeah.
And typically in finance, it's if you're doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing, if you're buying when other people are selling, that tends to work out pretty well because you're buying things on sale and you're not letting fear drive your finances. You're making business decisions rather than emotional decisions. And so that's what we think right now. Let's look for the opportunities, and Roth conversions are more relevant than ever right now because you're converting at a lower stock price than you were 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, and if you're not sure how this, obviously we're explaining, if you're not sure if it's right for you or not, reach out to us, and we're happy to walk you through it and assist you and to see if it actually is a good decision or if it's a bad decision for you and your individual circumstances. But it's definitely something to take a look at and change this negative into a positive.
That's a great point. I mean, you're sitting at home. If you're sitting at home, now's the best time to review your budget, put your budget together, figure out, look at your 401k, your IRAs, pull those things together. I mean, put down the Tiger King and pick up your Excel sheet and figure out what is going to help you long term. Well, and it's a great opportunity for that.
It absolutely is. And if you don't have an Excel spreadsheet, and if you don't know, you could put some things together or call us and we'll help you put things together to figure out what's going on and how can I make sure that I'm taken care of.
Yeah, because we were well positioned for this from a business standpoint, that we were already doing Zoom meetings with our clients. It's more convenient for a lot of our clients to do reviews over the internet rather than to get in their car and come see us at the office. So we were ready to go. We've been ready to go remote for years. And so we are working primarily remotely with our clients. And so, you know, you don't have to come to our office right now. We would probably recommend that you
6 feet distance, right?
Don't.
And we might not be able to move around here after the Hillsborough County administration.
Exactly. But you can call us. You're sitting at home. If you're sitting at home doing nothing, give us a call at 813-502-1228 and let's talk about this. Maybe this is an opportunity, unlike we've seen a long time, to do Roth conversions. Maybe it makes sense for you. Maybe it doesn't, but let's talk about it. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. Is this may be an opportunity that could grow a ton of tax-free income for you in retirement, and it's a time unlike any other.
Well, we just spoke with somebody just last week that told us, you know, I don't want to talk, I don't want to meet, I want to bury my head in the sand right now. I don't want to make any moves or anything. And we said, listen, we're not here to make moves, but this is not the time to put your head in the sand. This is the time to figure out where you're at currently, to know where you need to be, and to make a plan or to develop a strategy that's going to get you there. Putting your head in the sand right now is trouble.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do. I know it's painful to look at some of that, but it is essential. So listen, give us a call. We can help you with that. 813-502-1228. It's a complimentary call. It's a complimentary consultation. We're going to give you free advice. And so that's 813-502-1228 for a complimentary consultation on, do Roth conversions make sense for you? You can visit us at brookstonefinancial.com or visit us on Facebook at Brookstone Financial.
Yeah, definitely. This is a time to find hope, to take care of your family, to take care of your neighbors. If you have somebody who's elderly and if they need you to go shopping for them, do so. Take care of one another right now. Wash your hands, take care of each other. We'll see you right back here on Thursday at 8 o'clock.